What is up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. So today's video is going to be a very interesting one because I'm going to be explaining the differences between living on campus and living off campus. As someone who has lived on campus for like a year and a half and I'm currently living off campus, I probably should be able to tell the differences, that is the pros and cons in living on campus and then also living off campus, and also how to find a very good accommodation as an international student. So without further ado, we'll go straight into the video, but I have a very short announcement. By the time this video is up, which will be up in like less than an hour after me making this video, by the time this video is up, I'll probably have announced on my social media the launch of my most recent books. So it's not yet launched yet. It will be launched on the 4th of March, which happens to be my birthday. And the title of this book is Parent Obey Your Children. So this book basically addresses issues when it comes to abuse, discipline, when it comes to parenting from a child's perspective, right? How parenting should be done from a child's perspective. Most of the books that talks about parenting talks like from the parent's perspective, but this one talks about how to actually train a child or raise a child from the child's perspective. It addresses the issues of abuse. Most of us coming from Africa went through this cycle of abuse by parents and teachers, and this book comes in to help us break the cycle of abuse and also end trauma that was passed to us by our parents. So unfortunately, there wouldn't be any hard copies in Ghana because the previous books I had some issues getting the hard copies in Ghana. So this would be just in ebook versions for those in Ghana because it's on Amazon and you can't buy it. It wouldn't make sense to order just one copy with a shipping cost. So this is the book. It will be up on my Instagram and everything. March 4th, help me share it on your stories or anywhere that you feel like will be of help. But without further ado, and aside the book and everything, let's just jump right into the video. So before that, I'll tell you guys my most interesting story about living off campus, or the most interesting part about living off campus for me. So the most interesting part about living off campus for me is waking up and realizing that class has been cancelled. It's like you are broke and someone gives you a lot of money. It's like you are broke with no hope of money and then someone just drops $1,000 into your bank account. That is like the best message you could ever hear, because it's like you have the whole day to yourself. You don't have to go out, you don't have to go to anywhere. You are just in the room, focusing on your stuff, especially for someone who is always doing other things. It makes me so happy. So that is the interesting thing about me living off campus. But when it comes to the pros and cons of on campus and off campus, I'll start with on campus. Now, on campus helps you make friends, except you are me who has social anxiety and can't talk to people that much. So when I was in West Virginia, I was living on campus and I didn't have any friend in my school. It's just some 2 people. But if you live on campus, some way, somehow, you become friends with people because it's like we live on the same floor. So when you see them, except there are people who are weird, they don't mind you, but when you see them, mostly people will be like, oh yeah, what's up, like, those things. So if you are someone who always wants to avoid those, little talks and stuff, on campus wouldn't be for you, because on campus, it's like we are more like a community. So you get to, talk to people, you get to meet people and be friends with a lot of people. Those who like girls, the boys who like girls too, you see girls on your floor that you can be friends with and all that. So yeah, that is the pros of on campus. Off campus doesn't have that thing, because off campus you are basically living in someone's house or renting a place, except you are living in an apartment. I'll come to the apartment, the difference between an apartment and the townhouses and then the homes and stuff in America. But except you live in an apartment, you barely have people to talk to, or you barely have friends to talk to. You have just yourself, right? It's like you are living on your own. So yeah, that is another thing when it comes to on campus and off campus. Another thing about on campus is that community bonding is there. So there's events for you. So when I was in West Virginia, I used to organize events for my floor. So I would organize painting events where people barely showed up. I organize tie and dye events just to keep the community alive. But off campus, you don't get that privilege. You are living on your own, so no one really thinks about you. No one really cares about you. Another pro on campus is that you get to find steady partners. So when I was in West Virginia, so when I was in West Virginia, I had a steady partner, so I didn't really understand some of the classes. So I had this friend of mine. We would go to the library to study together. You are close to the library when you live on campus, so you get to go to the library to study and everything. And it's like you are living in the school, so everything is accessible to you. Speaking of accessibility, you live on campus, you get access to snacks, foods, library. The most important thing, when you need to print something as soon as possible, you get access to a printer because you are basically living on campus. So you just have to walk to your to the library and then just print. But then I am living off campus now. If I want to print something, I would have to drive 23 minutes to school to print it, or else I would have to wait till I get to school and then print it. But then I'm doing so many things that I might need to be printing stuff, so it's just a bit confusing. It's a bit confusing because it's like I need to print something today, but I don't know how or what to print. But then I'm done with class for the day, so you get it. So when you live on campus, you have access to all these things. Another thing about on campus is the school feeds you, because your fees is charged together with your room and board and your housing. So when you live on campus, you know, when you look at your students' bill, there's something called room and board. So room and board is your room, and then the feeding. So the feeding is that the school gives you food 3 times a day. You have a cafeteria. The foods are not mostly good. All right, so the foods are not mostly the best that you would expect. I mean, in my opinion, if your school, some schools have very good food, don't get me wrong, but some kids complain a lot about the food. I mean, it's America, they'll complain about everything. So the school gives you food 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening. You just go to the cafeteria, eat. Here it's not like our people back home that you hold your bowl and then they'll just serve you. When you go to the cafeteria, the foods are just there. You just go, you serve yourself, you go and grab snack. You just sit in the cafeteria, eat till you're tired, and then you leave. That is also another cool thing. I'm not someone who eats a lot, so I barely used to eat. And I wasn't even eating in the cafeteria. I remember I would just go to the cafeteria, grab a to-go box, put in food, and I'll leave, and people will be looking at me. But that is it about on campus. So the school feeds you. If you get a good scholarship that covers your feeding and stuff, it's very good. It's a very smart thing. So the school feeds you and everything. You know, you get snacks and everything. It's part of your feeding or your meal and your food meal plan and whatever they call it. But in off campus, you've got to feed yourself, bro. I would have to be buying Ghanaian food every single day for $18, $25, like jollof, $17, kinky, $18. I have to be buying Ghanaian food on my own, because if I don't feed myself, who will feed me? Off campus, you would have to be cooking. You would have to, you know, be buying food on your own, which is very smart, because you can do your shopping in bulk, your grocery shopping. So you can just save $100, do a lot of grocery, and then you can live on it for like a month. It's possible, right? But when you live on campus, the school fees you get food and everything. So that's also another pro and con about on campus. I'm trying to see if I've mentioned every good thing about living on campus. Okay, I should have. Yeah, I should have. On campus. Okay, another thing about on campus when it comes to the accessibility is you get access to so many things like free laundry. Okay, so most on campus, in fact every on campus, laundry is free. When I say laundry, you know, washing your clothes and stuff. In America, you have to pay to wash your clothes. So when you go to a laundry mat, you have to put in quarters, coins, what we call coins, and then it will allow you to, you know, get access to the machine, and then you wash your stuff. But then when you live on campus, these things are free. Off campus, except the landlord is providing these things for free. My place, I don't pay for laundry. So you'd have to pay for laundry, you'd have to fix in the coins, and then you'd wash. That way, you'd gather all your clothes together. But when I was in West Virginia, I could wash anytime. I could pick 3 clothes and just go and wash it. But over here, when you're off campus, you would have to pay to wash. So yeah, that is also another thing that comes with living on campus and off campus. So yeah, basically the on campus in summary is they gather all the expensive things, all the things that would be expensive for you, and then they charge you for it. So it's like we are gathering everything, we are cutting your costs for you at a cost. So we are saving you the stress, we are saving you the hassle, we are saving you the stress of, you know, going to find this, and we are giving you just a fixed price, and we'll do everything for you. Whereas off campus is you're on your own, you are the man or you are the woman, determine how you want to live your life, do anything on your own. You are basically living on your own. I'll tell you guys why I prefer off campus rather than on campus at the end of this video. So yeah, this video is already 10 minutes, but anyways, when it comes to the cons of living on campus and off campus, living on campus, your life is controlled. Okay, you are controlled when you live on campus. When I say you are controlled, living on campus, we have something called monthly inspection or every 3 weeks inspection. So when I was in West Virginia, I was a resident assistant. I've mentioned this so many times. So every 3 weeks we go and inspect people's rooms to see if the room is clean, to see if they have something like fire equipped, something that could, you know, let the building catch fire, or that is not supposed to be in the room. So we go to their rooms, inspect the rooms, and the way these people used to, anyway, so every 3 weeks they come and inspect your room, you check your room to see if your room is clean. It's like you are living in a boarding house, basically. You know, when we're in high school, they have inspections every month, right? So they come and inspect your room to make sure that the room is clean, everything is nice and stuff. But then off campus, no one comes to inspect your room, no one cares about you, just pay your rent and then leave. Another point about living on campus and off campus is Another con is the food. The food is not the best. When you don't like the food, you don't have any option. Okay, so when you don't like the food prepared in the cafeteria, what else can you do? Would you want to go and spend money on McDonald's when you've already paid for a meal? You wouldn't want to do that. So that's also another con, because it's like we are preparing the food that the majority wants. I remember when I was serving on the students' government, we had an issue about the food and stuff, and people were always talking, I like the cheeseburger with the plate, not only I like gluten free, and I was just sitting there, because I'm the only African, only Ghanaian, who would prepare jollof for just me? Who would prepare banku for just me? I was just sitting there looking at them. No, I like the cheeseburger, and they are going with their decision whether I like it or not. I'm just sitting there watching. So I'll go to the cafeteria, and sometimes there's just chicken, some weird food, and I don't have any option than to just eat it that way. So that's also another con. The school controls you. The food sometimes aren't the best, and you get it. Another con of on campus is you would have to find a place to stay during school breaks. Your life would be very boring when school is on break. When I say this, I mean on campus, most people are living in America. When school is on break, like spring break, most people go home. Thanksgiving, most people go home. So if you're like me, you don't have a family here, you don't have anywhere to go during the Thanksgiving break, you just have to stay on campus and be on your phone or do whatever you want to do. But when you leave off campus, it doesn't really feel like, you will not really understand the impact or how sad it is until you find yourself in a situation where imagine you're in Legon or K University, Christmas, everyone is gone home and you're the only one living in the school. Do you know how it feels? Yeah, so that is how it feels. So if you live off campus, you don't get all these feelings, because you're already living in your house. It's like you're living at home, right? But then on campus, everyone goes home to their family during Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is very sad. It's like a week everyone is spending time with their family, and you are just on campus just gnashing, right? So that's also another con of living on campus. Another thing that is probably very painful and stressful is after every 4 months, you have to find a new place. So for me, I used to live on campus for free during the break because I was working for the school as a resident assistant. So they asked me to live on campus for free so that I don't have to, suffer to find a place. But if you don't have any opportunity like this, you would have to go and look for a place to rent after vacation. So when the school goes on break in April, May for spring, spring is ending very soon. We are in March. Technically, we are in March. So April, May, we are okay, very good. We have the whole of March, April. So 2 months to break. Very good. So after April, you'd have to go and find a place because the school mostly won't allow you to live on campus, or else you have to pay extra. So you have to pay extra to live on campus for that, and you wouldn't want to pay that. I'm telling you, it's very expensive. So that's also another thing. But when you live on campus, your rent is already being paid every month too. You are staying and stuff. So it saves you the hassle of trying to find a place every 4 months. This, and all that. Another con about on campus is it's a pro sometimes, but when you don't have a room, when you don't like your roommates, it's like one of the worst things that could ever happen to you. So there's this guy in my school that I went to see yesterday, and he was telling me how he doesn't like his roommates. His roommate is this, and he can't do anything about it because we are into the semester. He can't switch roommates now because it's past, the deadline is past, so he has to endure his roommates snoring, like annoying stuff. But then when you live off campus, you have your own room, no one disturbs you, except maybe it's an apartment that you have to share a room with someone. That one you don't have any option. But if it's not, you get your own space. So on campus people are people who don't really care about privacy, and they are easygoing and stuff, and they can afford it. But off campus is for people who are matured, because it's not easy to be living off campus when you are not matured. Like, you are living on your own, you're a man, you rent a place, you get a bus to school, you drive to school, you are living on your own. No one is checking up on you to see if you're okay. You will not see your landlord coming to see if you are mentally okay. But then in school, the housing people will be texting you, hey, if you guys have mental health issues, come and reach out to me, blah, blah, blah. But off campus, you are living on your own, you are hustling on your own, you are grinding on your own, and that is what I want to do. I want to be alone. I'm not the type who really wants to be. You don't see me with a lot of people, right? You don't see me like outside plenty because I value my privacy so much. I'm not a very private person, but it's like I love being on my own. I love doing things on my own. I don't like to be controlled, this move. I want to be on my own, and it forces me to do things for myself. And you get a peace. You get so much peace when you live off campus. In my opinion, you get so much peace when you live off campus. So if it's in your capacity to live off campus, you have the money to pay rent, you should go for it. On campus, it's more like in Nkola Bebree, or undergraduates for they say in Nkola Bebree, so you wouldn't really like it. But in my opinion, I'll choose an off campus over on campus, in my opinion. Now, finding an off campus housing. So most most schools in the US have apartments. They have off-campus apartments, not theirs, but it's like they're affiliated to them. They have connections to them. So they're like students from us get a discount, blah blah blah, whatever. But if you can't afford it, you just have to go on Facebook Marketplace and then look for an apartment or a place to rent. So you go to Facebook Marketplace and then you enter your school's address, and then you just change your. When you come to the US, your Facebook will change, okay? If you're in Ghana, you probably won't have Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if they still have it. So you change the location to your school. Why your school? Because you want to find places that is close to your school. You don't want to be driving for an hour or getting a bus for an hour to get to school. You don't want to do that. So you change the radius to, let's say, 30 minutes, 25 minutes away from school. And most of the houses would be like, you need to pay 1 month extra. So let's say the rent is $500 a month. They will tell you that you need to pay 2 months rent, or you need to pay a security deposit of $700. They give that money back to you when you're leaving the place. So yeah, it's a security deposit in case you destroy something in the room. They pay for it and all that. And most of you wouldn't have it when you're coming from Ghana, but most landlords would like to see your credit score. And why do they want to see this? They want to see your ability to be able to pay for the rent. So they will check your bank statement. For me, where I stay, the guy checked my bank statement to see if there's a cash flow every month. Every month I make this amount, to be able to see that, yeah, I can actually pay. So if you want to do that and you wouldn't have the bank statement, you don't have a credit score, you can just use a friend in the US bank statement and give it to them, or you can just show them that he or she is going to co-sign you. It's not illegal, it's a co-signer. So they are like standing in for you in case you don't pay your rent. So you first of all go on Facebook Marketplace, change the radius to 30 minutes away from school, and find the cheapest. Don't look for the fanciest. If it's fancy, we thank God, but don't care about. I'm telling you, if the place looks very expensive and very luxurious, you are going to pay for it. You are going to be the one paying for it. Do you know how you're going to be paying for it? The landlord will text you that, hey, you know, I told the room was $500, right? Someone is willing to offer $700. I don't know if they pay it, you would have to move out, and you don't want to experience that. So when the room is too fancy, don't worry, don't choose it, because it's like you're a student, you are starting life from scratch. Find a place for $300, $400, $400. If you're in Michigan, you can get a place for $400. If you're in like other states, just get $400. Let it be within your range. Don't let rent eat up your money. $400, $500, you can, manage it, okay? And then you go and look at the place. Make sure you see the person in person before you make payment. So you see the person's place, you go and check the environment, ask them questions, ask them about Wi-Fi. They'll probably have Wi-Fi. Ask them about laundry, ask them about kitchen and stuff. If the place has kitchen, we thank God. So make sure you do all these checks and make sure that the hood or the community is very good and you get easy access to transport. So yeah, I hope I've covered all these things. Yeah, I mostly forget some of the things that I want to say, and I remember after the video. So if there's any other question or anything bothering you want me to go in depth into it, you can just put it in the comment section and I'll probably do that. Thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. And March 4th, Parents Obey Your Children is coming out. It talks about parental abuse, teachers abusing students, especially in Africa, how we can heal from generational trauma. And that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.